Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. It's Friday again, Sunday, Monday. What's going on, guys? It is Friday. It is another day ticked off the calendar in regards to the transfer window, guys. It is getting really precarious. As a Manchester United fan, it's getting very worrying. As a Manchester United fan, of course, nothing is happening. It's a bit like stalemate at the moment. Nothing going on. Lots of PR, lots of talk, lots of rumours going around, but nothing solid. Even the rumours, guys, even rumours are becoming very, very slim. No one's really talking about who Man United are going to get now. Obviously, there's the Mbeumo deal that will be done very, very soon, of course, guys. But other than that, we haven't really got anything going on at Man United. Guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys could do that for me, it'd be absolutely fantastic. You absolute legends. Thank you so much. And we're going to try and be as, calm as possible, because that is how I want to do things at the end of the day. Smile while you still have teeth. Look, you know what? I've never been one to, lie and sugarcoat anything. I love sugar, but I don't sugarcoat anything. If there's something to be spoken about, I will speak about it, and I'm not afraid to make my point, even though it might offend people and stuff like that. But we can't sit here and back what this ownership is doing at the moment. We can't sit here and pretend that everything is all rosy in the garden when it quite obviously is not. And what I would say is that we have to, as a collective, make sure that this Ineos are held accountable. How do we hold them accountable? Well, we need to empty the stadiums. We need to stop buying the merchandise. We need to not be excited about the new shirt that's coming out on the 16th of July. We need to stop these kind of things. If we're going to make a difference, the only way that's going to hit the Ineos and the Glazers is in their pocket. We remember when the Liverpool game was postponed, cancelled. Do you remember we cancelled the Liverpool game? That was the only time that the Glazers at the time actually made a video call to the fans, well, a section of the fans. I don't think we are doing enough. I don't think as a fan base we do enough. I don't think we're aggressive enough. I don't think we are scary enough as a fan base. AC Milan and Inter Milan, when something goes wrong, right? You do know the manager or the ownership go onto the pitch and they speak to the ultras and they have to explain themselves to the ultras. At the moment, look, we are Manchester United. We are the life and soul of Manchester United. We are, there is no Manchester United without the fans. That's a plain fact. You know what I mean? You could play in empty stadiums. There's no Man United. You're not going to get anywhere. At the end of the day, the fans are what make the football club. And the fans are the ones that deserve the respect, especially a football club like Manchester United. Manchester United are a cultural heritage, a club that are built by the working class person for greasy little mittens of Jim Ratcliffe to come along and take advantage of that. Something we've built over the last 150 odd years, guys. Something we've built. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is this, right? We need to turn up the heat on them. And I hope that we can create something and create a movement that will, make a difference. I've made movements before. I've made movements in regards to the 58th minute walkout. I got absolutely slandered with it, of course, because the fan base is so divided in regards to this. They're so divided. Everyone thinks that they are better than everyone else. The Man United fans are like, every Man United fan you meet apparently knows more than you. He's a better fan than you. This is the problem that we're having at the moment. Do you know what I mean? I know more than you. I'm a better fan than you. I've been going since 1960s. All this kind of thing. It's ridiculous, guys. I met a fan, right, at the airport on the way here, and he's part of my Twitter. He met me. He bumped into me at the airport before I flew out, and he said to me, he started going on about Man United history and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. And we started, because he's a big Man United fan. So I brought in the Man United history. I started talking about, and I spoke about 1995. I don't know how the conversation got going, but I spoke about 1995. I spoke about when we lost the league title to Blackburn Rovers and stuff like that. And he didn't remember it. And I'm like, mate, you're a Man United fan. You don't remember 1995 when we lost the league to Blackburn Rovers? Come on, mate. And this is what I mean. But did I turn around to him and say, mate, you're not a Man United fan. You don't know what you're talking about, mate. You're not, mate. You're supposed to be a Man United fan since 1970s, 1960s, and you didn't know nothing about that. I didn't blame him. I didn't say no. I thought it might be a slip of the memory and stuff like that, you know. But the problem is that in our fan base, we are very, very judgmental on people, whether you're from London, whether you're from Japan, whether you're from America. It's always the same thing. It's always division, division, division. There's never any unity in regards to the Man United fan base. And I think if this ownership was a Liverpool ownership or an Inter Milan ownership or Real Madrid ownership, they would have walked out by now. I just think we're too nice. We will sign in Mbeumo and everyone will be happy again and everyone will be excited again, won't they, at the end of the day? Big up everyone. Hope you're doing well. Big up Gav. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I don't know people call that the above Amorim. I think people have been doing that for 25 years, but we need to up the ante, the aggression, and no bloody sing-alongs coming towards Old Trafford. We want Glazers out. Say, we want Glazers out. We want Glazers. It's basically a hip-hop video. It's basically a hip-hop video. We want Glazers out. Say, we want Glazers out. We want hit the hop, the hippity, hit the hop. Don't stop, we're gonna be. That's what we're doing at the moment. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. What we need to be is bloody ruthless, bloody, scary. We're not having this crap anymore. Unfortunately, people have mortgages and kids to feed, and they don't want to go to prison. That's one of the things. But hey, what's going on, my friend? I'm not sure they can do this, but let's hope. If there is a possibility, because they are not committed people, look at how many weeks it's taken Mbeumo transfer. It's ridiculous, but let me get into a bit of transfer news. Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim wants to bring one of the Sporting Lisbon defenders to Manchester United. That defender is Gonzalo Ignacio. And he, look, what I would say is, like Ruben Amorim wants one of his players. He wants another defender. Of course, we've lost Lindelof and we've lost Evans. And Garnacho seems to be high on the list in regards to one of the defenders that he wants to bring in. Now, what do I make of this? What do I make of this is that I don't think we're desperate for a defender. I think we need to look at more strikers and number 10s and midfielders and wing backs and things like that. That's what Man United need to look at the moment, because that's going to have a direct impact in the way Man United play. I think Man United, I am a big fan of Aiden Heaven. Licha Martinez can openly keep his fitness. So Luke Shaw can play there as well. Whatever you think about Luke Shaw can play there as well. So that is obviously very, very interesting. But what I would say is that Ignacio going to Man United, obviously there was always going to be one Sporting Lisbon player that might come to Man United. We've been speaking about Gonzalo Ignacio for a long time, and I think it'd be a good signing, but I wouldn't put him as a priority signing. But Ruben Amorim has asked Ineos if they can try and strike a deal with Sporting Lisbon in regards to Ignacio. Now, I don't believe for 1 minute that Sporting Lisbon are going to be an easy touch now. I think Sporting Lisbon, they've gone rogue. They've gone absolutely crazy. They're, in regards to Jokeres and stuff, they are not having it anymore. They're fed up of being a soft touch. They're fed up with team players taking their players. Why didn't they do that to Chelsea then with Quenda? Why don't they give them a hard time? They seem to have folded very easily in regards to Quenda, didn't they? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, yeah, look, Gonzalo Ignacio, linked with Man United again. As I've always said, Man United have these players on their list. They've had these players on their list for months, if not a year now, and has not changed. Many of these players are still on Man United's list, including Richard Rios and players of that nature. Now, the names that we've been mentioning over the last few months, and last year, in fact, will be circulated again this summer. There will be links to Richard Rios. There will be links to Ignacio as well. There will be links to many players out there, that Man United have been linked with before. Tyler Dibbling is another one that's been linked to Man United for a long time, And what I would say is that don't be surprised if Man United do get one of those players, if they do get an Edison, which will be lovely, or a Richard Rios, which would also be very, very beautiful if we could do something like that. But at the moment, where we stand at the moment is that we don't trust this ownership. We don't trust Ineos. We don't trust the Glazers. We don't trust them to do anything. We don't trust them to work their way out of a paper bag at the moment. This is what we're saying, because they have not given us any confidence to do so. Since last year, the last transfer window, since then, we have to be realistic and we have to be honest. Most important thing, we have to be honest with ourselves, is that they have not been good, right? We have to weigh it up like that. And we have to say that this ownership has not been good. They've been poor. Most of the decisions they've made have been poor. Now, you think about the transfer window last year. You think about what happened. relatively good transfer window, okay, as a first transfer window. But what you've got to understand is this is like a honeymoon. So that was like a honeymoon sort of period for Ineos. So obviously the honeymoon period, impress, you know what I mean? Do everything nice, do everything good, lure people in, you know. But now, this is where you're truly going to be tested. This is your guy, your manager, distinctive style of play. You know, but you got to back him. Let's see how you're going to back him. Let's see if you back this manager, and that's what I want to see. You know, at the moment I'm not seeing anything, and this really fills me with dread. And I'll tell you why it fills me with dread, because any manager that's going to walk into this football club will be served with the same nonsense, will be served with the same rubbish, will not be backed. You know, I don't care what they did with Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag is the past. Let's forget about Eric Ten Hag. I'm fed up of hearing, but Eric Ten Hag bought all these players. He ruined our future. I don't care about what happened with Eric Ten Hag. It doesn't matter. Do you think Real Madrid care about what happened a few years ago? You know what I mean? With John Tossack. Do you know what I mean? Do you think they care about that? I don't think they care about that, do they? They think about what's going to happen in the future. Forget about what's happened in the past when they signed Thomas Gravison and Adi Bayor and players like that. They'll think about what's going to happen in the future. The same with Barcelona. The same with PSG as well. You know what I mean? It's, you know, we got to stop thinking about Eric Ten Hag and blah, what happened there, and stop blaming Eric Ten Hag for everything as well. He made mistakes. Managers make mistakes at the end of the day. He made good decisions. He made bad decisions. And that's the way it is. It's done. He's sacked. He's no longer the manager of Man United. Let's move on to what it is with Ruben Amorim. And let's try and support Ruben Amorim. And let's focus on Ineos and focus on what they need to do. Forget about what was done in the past and let's focus on what they need to do. And let's hopefully they start getting their finger out and start bloody making some serious moves, guys. Big good morning, Randall. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Ineos couldn't manage a cake shop. They couldn't manage a cake shop. It's quite difficult to manage a cake shop, guys. I don't think they would... manage as I said, they can't manage themselves out of a paper bag. Everyone is paying the price for Ineos not sacking Eric Ten Hag or some of them Ineos backing Eric Ten Hag for transfers. What an effort. And again, Bill, I don't feed into that logic. I don't. At the end of the day, you make mistakes with transfers. So Alex Ferguson made mistakes with transfers. Eric Ten Hag won 2 trophies and Man United and came third. You know, at the end of the day. So we can't keep blaming that. That is swaying the direction of what Ineos are. Ineos made a mistake. They've done that mistake. But that's not Eric Ten Hag's fault. That's Ineos. At the end of the day, I won't go and talk about Eric Ten Hag because at the end of the day, that's Ineos. Eric Ten Hag is done. You know what I mean? He's history. Ineos are our future, apparently. This is what's going on at the moment. And we need to get Ineos out of this football club. Honest to God. And that comes from the Regeneration project. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Good morning, Toby. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Darren, what's going on, brother? Just close the fucking... Guys, this is slowly becoming... I mean, we did witness the Marion Fellaini window. Let's not forget, we witnessed the Marion Fellaini window, didn't we? So this is closely becoming one of Man United's worst transfer windows. It can be recovered. There is time to do that. The window doesn't close until the 1st of September. Let's not forget that. It doesn't. It can be done. My biggest worry is that many of the good players on the market are going. You know, Jokeres is going to be gone. Osman's going to be gone. You know, players, there's only so many great players around Europe at the moment. It's not like the 90s where there was great players everywhere. There's only so many players around Europe now that, you know, what you would class as great players, world-class players. You know what I mean? You know, so we got to get a move on, get a step on and get some players in. Good morning, Marky. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Trying to hold out for Hope signings. Got tickets since I live 30 minutes from Chicago. Live 30 minutes from Chicago. Now I might just watch it at home. Go for it, Marky Mark. What you should do for me, Marky Mark, my friend. I've been to Chicago. Love Chicago. Magnificent mile. I've been there. Look, what I would say, right, is that get the banners out. Get the Glazer out banners. Get some banners out. Get some stuff, make a chant, do something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's where go to the game, enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's an opportunity for you to go and see Man United. You know what I mean? Just go out there, watch the game, put the banners up and stuff like that, and just try and make a noise. Every little bit helps. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and when we see like Glazers out posters in the States, you know, that's when you're going to start saying, "Yeah, look at this." You know what I mean? It's going stateside now because the thing with the Glazers is that. The protests in Manchester do not affect the Glazers. They do not have an effect on them because they're all the way over in Florida. So they don't really care about what happens in Manchester. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, they're noisy again. Oh, never mind. You know what I mean? As I said earlier, the only thing that's going to affect them is emptying the stadium and things like that. But if the noise can start resonating over to the stateside, then that will be, that will be a start. You know what I mean? Because we need to see that more. We need to see that more. I would even argue put some bloody Man United fans in some of the M&S games. And put them everywhere in the baseball games, in the NFL games. Glazer out movements. You know what I mean? That's what it should be, because Man United are a well-supported club all over the world, and we need to show that we mean business, and there needs to be a proper movement, not a bunch of middle-aged guys who don't like anyone other than themselves because they think they're better than everyone else. We need a movement that actually makes a difference. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, mark him up. Darren, big up Darren. Ephraim, good morning, Sal. Tottenham have more ambition than us. Isn't it funny? Morgan Gibbs White, isn't it, signed for Tottenham Hotspur within 24 hours. It's absolutely embarrassing. Guys, it's embarrassing. You can't sugarcoat this. Everyone who supported Ineos have to hold their head in shame, guys. Everyone who supported them. Hold your head in shame. What did you want again? Bring the Manchester back in Manchester United. Hold your head in shame. You have put a nail in the coffin of Man United with the Glazer facilitator. That's basically what it is. But what can we do? Can we dwell on it? Can we moan? Can we cry? We can't change what has happened. We can't cry over spilt milk. What we have to do is carry on pushing the narrative, carry on pushing the movement, make sure that stadium is empty by the first game of the season against Arsenal. Will they do that, though? Will they empty that stadium? And don't tell me that if we go into the stadium, if we don't go into the stadium, someone else will take our ticket, blah, blah, blah. No. I've had season tickets, right? You scan in and walk out. Scan in and walk out, okay? That's what you do. You scan in and walk out. Will you do that, though? Will you sacrifice your fun, your pint of beer, to do that for the football club? Would you do that? I've done it. I waited 8 years for my season ticket. 8 years. And I gave it up. Toby, Sal, say hi. Tell us where you're watching. And I remember, smash the like button. Thank you. Big up, everyone. Thank you so much, Toby. Yeah, everyone around the world. Thank you so much, you legends. Absolutely. Super jumper, Sal. It's just a normal hoodie. It's just a normal Nike hoodie. Thanks, mate. Look, luckily, this is my apartment in Naples, guys, in Napoli, Italy. This is where I have some clothes over here, luckily enough. You know what I mean? I do. It wouldn't be very pretty if I came on here with skin. Benny, big up. Morning, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. They said we are broke. We are broke because of it. So let me tell you something, Ephraim. I'm going to say this right now. We are not broke. Do not let them manipulate you in thinking that they are broke. Do not let them do that. They are stabilizing Man United, apparently, right? What they want is a stabilized Man United that will drag on all the way up to the Regeneration project. So they want to spend the minimum amount of money. The minimum amount of money they want to spend until they get to the Regeneration project. And when they get to the Regeneration project, they've won, they've got it. Those hotels that are going to be built, those franchises that are going to be built, all the money that they're going to make for them concerts, the vanity. I bet you anywhere, there's going to be Jim Ratcliffe name everywhere. There's going to be Ineos name everywhere. It's a vanity project. There's probably a Glazer hotel somewhere. As I said, it's a vanity project for them. It's their opportunity to make millions and billions, if not billions. You know what I mean? Lord Cole, all these clowns need to get in the way and step in the way of this regeneration project. This regeneration project must not go ahead, because if this goes ahead, they win and they got a foothold. If this regeneration project doesn't go ahead, they cannot carry on. They need to move on at the end of the day. Because I look at people right dead in the face. Jim Ratcliffe is a liar. He lied to you. He manipulated you. He played in your heartstrings. The old Mank born and bred, the Chelsea fan. Look at him. He can't even crack a smile. The guy's a doom and gloom merchant, but manipulating you at the same time. Act like everything is all the world is against you. And this is what happens. This is what governments do. Billionaires do this. billionaires love negativity. They love, and let me tell you why. Because they love negativity. Because they fill you with fear. They scaremonger you into fear, so that you feel that you need them. You feel that you need to lean on them. That's what they do. Scaremongering. They do that. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know, we were in big trouble. We're going to go bankrupt by December. We were not. You know, all these lies. We're buying this club by 2026. We are not. They are liars. And that's what it is at the end of the day. And we have to understand they are liars. They've been liars. They lie to you. We said a few months ago, didn't Barada, was it Barada who said it, that we are ready for the transfer window? We've got our backup plans. We've got everything ready. We've been planning. We're calm. We're relaxed. Don't lie. Do not lie to the fan base, because you are lying at the moment. You are lying to the Man United fan base. You're lying. You're a bunch of liars. I tell you that right now. And at the end of the day, look, we don't want to come on here, on this channel, and any other channel, and start talking about negativity, and this and that, and the Man United and this. But we have to tell you about the birds and the bees. We have to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? You lied to the fan base. You manipulated the fan base. Unfortunately, there were a few out there who fell for it. Big up, Tyber. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. The obvious that owners don't want to spend proper money. Absolutely. The arrogance and ignorance is shocking. If they do not spend now after a season we've had, then when they do, exactly. Thank you so much. And what I would say, Tyber, to back that up, I would say that, this is exactly what they want to do. They want Man United. They actually, part of them, it's probably like working in their favor for Man United to be, stabilized, because they're acting like they're stabilizing Man United. So they want Man United to be in a content level where, keep it straight. Let's not go down. Let's keep it there in the league. Let's try to spend as minimum as possible so we can get this regeneration project done. And as you said there, Tyborg, if after the season that we've had, if they're not going to spend money after the season that we've had, when are they ever going to spend money? We have to understand that. This was the time to say, like, you know what? If Jim Ratcliffe was bank born and bred, knows about Man United, loves Man United, knows about our history, right? He wouldn't accept this as a Man United fan. I'm seeing Man United fans saying, "Oh yeah, we'll be happy with 8th." No. No, I don't care if it's realistic or not. I don't care if you think we're not going to get anywhere near the top 10. But we should never succumb to that sort of down tooling in regards to our mentality, in regards to our expectations, lowering standards. We're going to come top 8. No. We want to challenge for the league. Man United should be challenging for the league. That's how we should be. I don't care how unrealistic it is. Man United should be challenging for the league every single season, right? That is what it should be. Do not let these guys off, because that's going to be comfortable for them. That's going to be comfortable for you to say, we're going to come top 8. Yeah, that's nice. That's lovely for them. That's lovely for the Glazers. You might as well wear a Glazonomics t-shirt. Klinios t-shirt. You know what I mean? You might as well do that, because at the end of the day, we should not aspire to be the top 8. We should be fighting for the top of the league. Would Bayern München, would they do that? You know what I mean? Would Real Madrid do that? Would Barcelona say that? Even AC Milan, who haven't won anything for a long time, wouldn't say this. We're happy with the top 8. We're supposed to be that club, guys. You know what I mean? And I don't care if we're not that club anymore in regards to who owns us, but we are still Manchester United, and we should not succumb to lowering of expectations, because that feeds into the hands of the Glazers and Ineos, because that means that, yes, you know what? We don't need to work that hard in the transfer market, because we're happy. They're happy with the top 8. It's crazy. Big up, Kenny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I know that we are in the mud, but when I saw that Maduri could burst out laughter, I mean, what are Arsenal playing at? Look, I don't think we're in a position to laugh at Arsenal, but that was a strange signing. 52 million for Madueke. Wow. And this is exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying about Garnacho. I'm going to bring in Garnacho in a minute, and the dilemma that is facing the Garnacho situation. Now, Garnacho is valued at 45 million euros, apparently, towards Napoli. Napoli are very interested in signing Garnacho, but for 45 million. Now, is Madueke 10 million more than Garnacho? Is he nearly 10 million more than Garnacho? Absolutely not. Garnacho's a better player than Madueke. Garnacho's achieved more than Madueke, at the end of the day. And why are we down valuating our players? Why are we down valuating our players? Why are we doing that? We're selling ourselves short. Again, it's incompetence of the highest order. Chelsea are smashing it. Arsenal just gone and paid all their fines for FFP and PSR. That's what they've done. Arsenal gone and paid their fines. They got fined for PSR, didn't they? Was it 60 million? Big up, Kenny. I hope Arsenal get signed Rashford player. They're never going to sign him now. They got Madueke. I don't think they will sign him. Big up, Amir. Amorim, we trust absolutely. We believe in Sir Amorim. Big up, Amir. Big up. Among Us, what's going on, my friend? Hope you do well. I gave up my season ticket to us. The problem, there's a lot more people on the waiting list. No, this is what we do, Among Us, and this is what we say, right? If anyone wants to make a difference at this football club, right, you can cancel. That's up to you. I'm not forcing anyone to cancel their season ticket. It's very hard to get a season ticket. But what you can do, what would work, right, which I've done a few times, you scan in and walk out. That's what will work. And then they got it on their records that you attended the game. So they can't take the season ticket away from you. But you attended the game, right? But the stadium's empty because you walked out. Now, imagine the visual of an empty Old Trafford on the first game of the season against Arsenal. Imagine that visual. Imagine around the world, Old Trafford empty on the first game of the season against Arsenal. One of the biggest games in the Premier League history. Man United against Arsenal. And the game is empty. Imagine how that would look. That is the golden goose of what we need to do, guys. I'm telling you right now, we need to start doing things like that. Things that actually make a difference. Not, we want Glazers out. Say, we want Glazers out. Say, hit the hut, they hit the hibbity, hit this up, they don't stop. Boogity. That's basically what it is. We've got to stop that nonsense. And we've got to start actually making an aggressive change. Right? An aggressive change. And stop judging every Man United fan. Stop saying that Man United fan is this. He's not a Man United fan. He's a Cockney Red. Whatever you're from, at the end of the day. And start pulling together for a common goal. Because at the end of the day, these billionaires at Man United don't care about the fans. They need the fans. They know they need the fans. But they know they got us on a piece of string. And they know that. And they will not turn around and say, you know what, we got to think about what the fans want. They're never going to do that. They're going to think about what their pockets want. We need to bring it back to Manchester United Football Club. That's what we need to get back. You know what I mean? Manchester United Football Club. Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, what are the thinking that they do about football? Mbeumo price is fair. The Mbeumo price is very fair, guys. When you look at the fact that in Madueke he's gone for 52.3 million or something like that, and you look at Mbeumo who will cost about 65 million, but scored 20 goals last season in the Premier League. A proper Premier League player, peak of his powers. 65 million is the right amount of money to pay for Mbeumo. In fact, it's quite cheap. When you think about how many goals he scored, the impact he's got on Brentford, the impact he's going to have on Manchester United. The biggest problem Man United had last season, what is it? Goal scoring, right? Man United had a goal scoring problem. And Man United have had a goal scoring problem for the last 2 years or so, haven't they? So we need to start scoring goals. And Mbeumo will contribute to that heavily. He will change that. But we need Mbeumo and Cunha. We can't have one or the other. We need both of them there. We need to make sure that we have got goals covered next season. With Mbeumo and Cunha, that is 35 goals from last season. 35 goals, those two alone. So what Man United needs to do is to get them in, and not only get them in, get a striker as well. If they get that attack fixed, it's a big thing. They get the attack. Yes, we need a lot more doing on the midfield, in the defence and the goalkeeper. But you get that attack fixed, then that. Because I'm at the stage now. We sign Cunha, we sign Mbeumo, we sign a striker, we sign a goalkeeper. That's 4 players, right? I think that would improve Man United significantly. Significantly improve Man United if we did that. Are we going to do that? Big up, Amir. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Ciao. Good morning. Amorim won't make it on October. Some of the fans will turn on him and the results don't go well. And this is the thing that I will urge, and I will repeat myself, Ciao, as I've said it many, many times over the last week, that I don't want these fans to forget about this window. I want them to look at the context. I want them to start looking at the context. They're going to forget about this window. We lose a couple of games, it's all going to be Amorim out, get him out, Portuguese fraud, this. That's what they're going to do. I don't want them to forget about this. I don't want them to forget about it. I don't want them to forget about this window. I didn't when Amorim took charge. I didn't. I had context. And when he took charge of the football club, distinctive style of play, none of the players are his, and I didn't turn on Ruben Amorim precisely because of that. Did I criticize him? Hell yeah, you're allowed to criticize, but you don't jump. Get him out, because you've got to look at the context. Now, we're going into next season without... Listen, I want to tell people this, right? Since last year, since Eric Ten Hag was in charge, we haven't got Varane, we haven't got Rashford, we haven't got Anthony. Luke Shaw hasn't been there either. You know? And you think about that. You know what I mean? And now, next season, we haven't got Evans. We haven't got Lindelof. We haven't got Eriksen. That's 3 players that are not there at the moment. Marcus Rashford is never going to play for Man United again. You know? Jadon Sancho is never going to play for Man United again. That's 5 players right there, not there. Anthony won't probably play for Man United again. That's 6 players right there. Garnacho is unhappy, looks likely to leave the club. That's 7 players right there. What are we doing, guys? 7 players out, no players in, 1 player in. You know, so look, I know that we ain't got many games next season. I know that we're not in European football, but listen, guys, injuries happen and stuff like that. We need to get in that top 4 because that is exactly what Chelsea are doing. That's exactly what Arsenal are doing. That's exactly what Liverpool are doing. Right? They're saturating their squads so that they are ready for the league campaign and the Champions League. So that kind of contradicts itself in regards to they got European football, so they're going to struggle. Yeah, but they got a much bigger squad too. So it's like this, isn't it? Tit for tat, isn't it? At the end of the day, you know. And we need to build our squad and make sure our squad is bigger. We lost the league by 1 point, many times. Actually, we lost the league by 1 point against Arsenal in 1998. We lost the league by 1 point against Man City in 2012, of course. We lost the league by 1 point against Blackburn Rovers in 1995. Big up, Coco. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, of course. Big up. Morning, all. Morning, Tebow. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, you legend. Thank you so much for joining Stretford Post, my guy. Big up, Amir. Big up. Marky Mark. With my dad being from Manchester, that's all I knew, Manchester United. I mean, Manchester United, people don't understand, and certainly people like Jim Ratcliffe don't understand who Manchester United are, where we came from, the adversity, the story behind Man United, which is why many of us support Man United. Unfortunately, there's a section of the fan base who don't support Man United because of that. They support Man United because of vibes and success. I didn't. I support Man United because of the history, the Busby Babes, you know, George Best, Sir Bobby Charlton, people like that. You know what I mean? That's how I loved Man United, and my best friend supported Man United and introduced me to them when I was very young. And many people around the world have the similar story about Manchester United, about how they began to support Man United. Their grandfather supported Man United. Their dad supported Man United, you know? And this is what it is. And, you know, people don't understand, especially Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, they don't quite grasp what Manchester United is. They don't. They just think we are a football club with a noisy fan base. Now, we need to up the ante. We need to up the ante on these guys. And I'm going to carry on. I'm going to try and do something. I mean, whatever I can do. I live in the UAE. I'm in Italy at the moment. And I've been doing it for the last 20 years now, you know, to the point I'm exhausted from doing it, you know, because I've been saying for a very long time, guys, we should empty this stadium. When I was sitting in the Stretford end, we should empty the stadium and get rid of the Glazers, you know. I do not recognise my club. This is not Manchester United. The ownership is definitely not. The fans are still the same. Glazers are going nowhere until their ATM dries out. The Glazers are not going anywhere because they want that Benny. They want that regeneration project. They get that regeneration project. They're in line to make billions, not millions, billions. You know what I mean? When you think about a regeneration project, you think about what that includes. You forget the stadium and the commercial elements of the stadium and the concerts and all that malarkey. You also got to think about the hotels and the franchises, the Burger Kings, the McDonald's, the Starbucks, the Costa Coffees and the hotels, the this. And you got to think about all that, the money that they are in line to make, guys. Do you know what I mean? They're in line to make a lot of money. Spurs have signed Kudus, Gibbs, White, meanwhile United. Look, you know what? I don't rate Kudus as much as that, but they're making moves. At least they're making moves. And this is why I'm not one of them people who's going to jump on Madueke and say, oh my God, Arsenal signed Madueke. My goodness me, what a bad signing. Because at least they're making moves. We're not making moves. Tottenham are making moves. Tottenham are already in the Champions League now. They're making moves. Arsenal are making moves. Everyone is making moves apart from Manchester United. Manchester United signed Cunha ages ago. It seems like a year ago we signed Cunha. It will be sooner or later. We started the Cunha talks in April. It's now been over a month since we started the Mbeumo talks as well. Morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, of course. Ephraim, Sal, the club always amazing how they bounce. They bring back the disrespected the club. At the end of the day, look, this football club is beautiful. And if you read about the football club and you ignore what has happened in the last 20 years with the Glazers and you read about our history and where we came from, it's a beautiful football club. Unfortunately, we have people who don't respect that legacy. They're using the legacy for their own personal gain. There's a milk cow, cash cow. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. Unfortunately, this is unacceptable. I've always been of the notion that a football club should be owned by the fans. As it is in Germany, the 51% should be owned by the fans. 50+1 should be owned by the fans. The football club should be owned by the fans. Man United have enough fans around the world to buy this football club. They do. So even if we owned like 51% of this football club, we have the decision. And that's how it should be, because it will always be the majority of the decision to the Manchester United fans. And I believe that is a wonderful motto to go by. And I like the way Germany do their ownerships. It's absolutely fantastic. And I think we need to get to this situation. Revat 7, good morning. A defender would be nice for depth and cover because there will be injuries. But number one priority next season is goals. To score more goals, we couldn't have even scored a goal against Spurs. We were like one goal a month. You couldn't buy a goal last season. And that is the biggest problem that Man United had last season. I'm not too worried about the defence. I think it's all right. I am worried about Onana. I think Onana is a problem. I think Onana creates instability within the defence. I think he creates anxiety and indecisiveness within the defence. I think Onana needs to go. Other than that, I think the most important thing about Man United next season is that attack line. Make sure we're getting goals. Because when you look at last season, there were many games last season where we lost by the odd goal. By the odd goal. How many times did we do that last season? You know what I mean? Just that alone, if we created that odd goal lost into a win, we'll be right up the table, won't we? So, yeah, let's try and get the goal sorted. And also, guys, positive football, attacking football will always create more of an opportunity to win more games. Because at the end of the day, when you're pushing and you're pressing, no matter how good you are at the back, you know what I mean? You're going to score goals and you're going to win more games because people will fear you. And fear is the number one thing that we used to have back in the day. Teams used to fear us. They don't fear us anymore, but we got to create that again. We got to create that fear again. Big up, Jamie. Jamie Wayne, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate, again. 11th of July and one side, disgusting. And we're still pissing about this Mbeumo deal. Incompetence across the board. Ineos out. I have to agree, Jamie. I have to agree. Ineos out all day at the moment. It is Ineos out. Glazers out all day. Get out of our football club and leave this football club right now. You know what I mean? If you cannot afford this football club, if you cannot afford the rebuild, if you do not have aspirations on bringing Man United back to where we belong, which is top of the league, please don't talk to me. Please stop talking about this bloody 2028, we're going to win the league. I know why you picked 2028. Oh, I know why. Because it's your regeneration project, isn't it? You want to get that one in the bag first. So what you're doing is you're buying more time. You're buying more time. Keep buying time, Ineos. Keep buying time. You know what I mean? So this club is amazing. They bring back Garnacho and who disrespected the club. Look, at the end of the day, this is the culture of Man United. And what Man United need to do, look, is he needs to come out and apologise, Garnacho. That's what Garnacho needs to do. But Garnacho's not going to stay at this football club. Garnacho will probably be one of the first people to leave the football club. When it eventually happens, it does look like he's going to leave the football club. The biggest problem and the dilemma that I'm talking about on the fun now is that we are going to end up selling him for peanuts, which is about 45 billion euros, which is an absolute disgrace. Man United shouldn't be selling 45 million. Now, Garnacho could be going to Napoli. I'm in Napoli. I'm going to make some phone calls. I know people in Napoli, of course. I'm in Napoli now. Let's see what happens and see what the news is saying over here. So hopefully by Chatterbox, I'll get some news for you guys and find out what's going on in regards to Garnacho, etc. So we'll have to wait and see. Good morning, Revert 7. Good morning. Good morning, Godwin. Good morning again. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Big up. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone is well. Jamie, first time in here, fed up, guys. I fear for the next season. Jamie, thank you so much for joining me, mate. And what I would say is that we're all together in the same boat. We're all in the same ship. You know what I mean? We're all feeling the same. Every single Man United fan is feeling the same right now. We're feeling very disillusioned. We're feeling very angry. And I can't blame anyone for that. I can't blame anyone for that. I think that every right. And I think the anger should be there. They're messing around with our football club. Right, it's not like we won. Look, I look at Liverpool, right, and I hate to do this, but I look at Liverpool, and Liverpool are acting like they came 15th last season. Liverpool are doing what we should have done now, right? They're doing what we should have done. They're not acting like champions, but everything they do, right, Liverpool, they're doing it perfect. They're doing it well. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're acting like, oh, well, don't worry about it. We're champions. That's how we're acting. We're acting like we're top of the tree. We're acting like we don't need any investment. This is not the Sir Alex Ferguson days. We came 15th, guys. The only reason we didn't get relegated is because the teams below us, the last 3 teams below us, were so crap. Pound for pound, Man United are the worst team in the league. Pound for pound. We are the worst team in the Premier League. Pound for pound, Man United are probably the worst team in Europe. You know what I mean? Tell me a worse run club. Tell me a worse football club than Man United right now in Europe. Pound for pound. I'm talking about pound for pound with finances, fan base, stadium, organic money that is made at the football club. Find me a worse football club than Man United. We got everything in our favour, apart from the Glazers. Of course, the Glazers are a big thing, but in regards to our infrastructure, our fan base, the money we accumulate and stuff, we should be challenging. We are the worst team in Europe, pound for pound. And that's what I would say, Big up, Jamie, by the way. Big up. Good morning. Tyborg, I never have seen so much glory hunting tourist fans as I did when I visited Old Trafford the last time, and this is why a proper demonstration can't take place. So what we do, Tyborg, the thing is what we have to do is understand this. Yes, we're going to get tourists, right? But what the Man United fan base need to do is the season ticket holders, about 60,000 season ticket holders, 60,000, right? So those 60,000 season ticket holders, even if 50,000 of those season ticket holders went into the ground and left the ground empty, it will make a huge difference. All right, we're going to have the scattering of fans that come from around the world. That's just the way it is. And there is a lot of prawn sandwich brigade, as Roy Keane famously said, isn't it? The prawn sandwich brigade, So what we need to do is do that. Will they do that though? They love the seat too much. They love the beer. They love the crack. They love everything about going to Old Trafford, enjoying themselves. It's just the way it is. Sometimes you have to think about the greater good. You have to think about sacrifice myself right now, right, and take away a bit of fun at the weekend for the greater good of this football club. Let people know that we are nobody to be messed around with, guys. You could have someone in front of me right now, right? You could have 100 people in front of me, 1,000 people in front of me, right? I've had worse abuse on Twitter than the Glazers have got outside Old Trafford, Now, you can have 1,000 people outside my house right now saying, we want Southsea out. Say, we want Southsea out, right? You could say that. You think it's going to affect me? Ignore them. That's what it is. And this is what the fan base need to pull their finger out and start actually acting like a proper football club, what we used to be. You know what I mean? Big up, Tyborg. Carl, we are probably leave it to the deadline day and sign Peter Crouch. Oh, can you imagine that? He'd do a better job at the moment, wouldn't he? Been there for a very long time. I mean, it probably will drag on to when the season starts, in my opinion. Absolutely. We've said, hurry up, Ineos. We have Mbeumo. We're still a striker, goalkeeper, midfielder. Yeah, they got a lot of work to do, guys. I repeat, we are in the mud. Glazers and that. Oh, yeah. I mean, in order to recover as a good window, we need another striker and a goalkeeper and more. I agree with that, Benny. Goalkeeper, striker, the number 10. Get that sorted out. It'd be halfway there. Arsenal may end up not getting Gyökeres, but time will tell. Gyökeres is a bit of a problem at the moment. Gyökeres is a very noisy fella. We're looking at Gyökeres at the moment, and he's very full of himself. He's him and his agent. That is a difficult one. That's a transfer that I think is going to drag on all the way through the transfer window, in my opinion. Ineos is cooking. Who said Ineos is cooking? Vomit. Oh, goodness me. Do you remember those days? Do you remember when they said Ineos is cooking? Goodness me. What are they cooking? It's very slow, that's for sure. But it's the best in class, guys. Best in class. Oh, goodness me. Those buzzwords that they use, isn't it? The buzzwords, the best in class. Bringing Manchester United back. Bring the Manchester back into Manchester United. You know what we need? We don't need the Manchester back in Manchester United. We need the United back in Manchester United. That's what we need. And that's what the quote should have been. The United back into Manchester United, not the Manchester back into Man United, because that doesn't mean anything. The United. The United bit is the most important thing, because it's United that we were in 1958. We had to stay united. Everything that epitomized this great football club came from the word united. The adversity that we suffered, the relegation, the tragedy that we suffered. We were always remained united. In the 89th minute in the 1999 Champions League final, we stayed united. We won a treble because we were united in our quest, in our goal. I don't want to hear about, Manchester, bring the Manchester back in Manchester. What, Man City, Manchester as well. They're Manchester as well. You know what I mean? I care about Man United. United. That's what I care about. Only one United. Remember that. Marky Mark, I will for you, my friend. We'll have a huge banner. Thank you so much, Marky Mark. I'm going to be doing a watch along for that game. I hope to see you, mate. Definitely. Big up, Marky Mark. Enjoy the game. Noisy again. Let's send out some spin. Keep them again for another few months. And unfortunately, Benny, I think a lot of people, a lot of fans have woken up to this reality that there is spin. A lot of people are waking up to the reality. Luckily over here in Italy, I can get certain news, that you wouldn't have in England, and you will hear about it from different sides, different personal points of view, including the Garnacho story and stuff like that. So I would get that news, and it won't be as much of spin. It will be actually facts and stuff like that. So, yeah. We got to, at the end of the day, proof is in the pudding, isn't it? Proof is in the pudding with Ineos. What happens in the first game of the season against Arsenal would determine who we are, where we are. When we look at that team sheet, when we get that lineup for the first game of the season, we're going to see it, innit? We're gonna know where we are, where we stand, and we shouldn't accept it. We shouldn't just think, okay, new season, let's go. Forget about the preseason. We shouldn't do that. Should never forget about this preseason so far. We are on, the 11th of July, guys. 11th. On the 19th of July, we've got Leeds United in the first preseason game of the season. We haven't got Mbeumo in yet. I think we're going to get Mbeumo in the cup for the next few days. I've said it, we're close. But that's about it at the moment. Man United needed to get much more than that done. So should have had 4 players in by now, in my opinion. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good morning, Devils. Looks like another that was supposed to be a week. The week for Mbeumo has passed again. Who thinks we are going to sign? We're going to sign Mbeumo, Mark. And I tell you what, Man United are going to sign Mbeumo with a new shirt release. That's what they're going to do on the 6th. This is what I'm predicting. It's nothing gospel, but this is what I'm predicting in regards to that. They're going to have the shirt up with Mbeumo, the brand new shirt. What a way to announce Mbeumo. New shirt coming out, Mbeumo signed. Sell the shirt. Make money. That's all they care about, isn't it? Don't care about the emotions of the fans or anything. Big up British Bulldog. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Mark, who would be United's star name with the Glazers sponsors if Bruno went to Saudi? Who would be United's star name for the Glazers? I don't know, mate. I don't think Man United needs stuff for the Glazers. But they'll probably buy a marquee signing, someone who sells shirts, probably Mason Mount or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I think probably Bruno would be the star name. He is the star name at the moment. But he's going. If he goes to Saudi, it'll probably be. I would say Mbeumo if he signs, probably be the star name, the new guy on the block. Yeah, probably Cunha, one of those guys, definitely. Fish Series 200 subs, people. Congratulations, Kenny. Keep it going, mate. Keep it going. Consistency is key, my guy. Consistency is key and hard work, mate. Empty stadium, empty pockets for rich, greedy owners. The only hope is that we have peace, Sal, brother. Peace, Miles. Good to see you as usual. Your lovely comments every morning. Keep us going, mate. Thank you so much. Benny, Regeneration Project will be the noun in the copy for Manchester United's coffin. Absolutely. This is something that people are totally ignoring, is the Regeneration Project. Man United need to make sure that this Regeneration Project does not go ahead, because this is their saving grace. This is what they want. This is what's going to keep them at the football club for many, many years to come. Absolutely. Marky Mark, I have to send you a picture of the banner glazed up. Yeah, send me it, mate, on Twitter, Stretford Post, please. I'll promote it and everything, mate. Great to do that, especially on an international level. You know, make sure you get in the ground with it. Make sure you try and get in the ground. They might stop you from getting in the ground, but make sure you get in the ground with it. Hide it up your thing or something like that. Absolutely. Big up, Marky Mark. Coco, new skill unlocked. United can suck the positivity out of anyone and everything. They've been doing that for a very long time, guys. Man United might as well make another bloody porn channel or something because they like sucking the life out of people, don't they, at the end of the day? That is what Man United are at the end of the day. That's what they might as well do. They love sucking. That's what it is, absolutely. And they do suck, to be honest with you. Absolutely, the Man United ownership. And they've completely drained me out of this Mbeumo deal. All the positivity, all the enthusiasm in regards to the Mbeumo deal has completely been sucked out of us. The positivity is gone. It's gone now. We're like, oh, again. How many thumbnails have I made with Mbeumo? How many do I need to make? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just get on with it. Hurry up and get it done. You know what I mean? We are Manchester United, not you. We are. We own the football club, not you. These guys are just clowns, honestly. Ephraim, so if the Glazers knock down Old Trafford, they will riot. Now Sir Andy Jim has done nothing to make it any sense. People are forgetting, right, that Inter Milan and AC Milan fought to stay at the San Siro. They share the San Siro, right? They fought to stay there. They were going to knock the San Siro down, but they fought to stay there. Liverpool would fight to stay at Anfield. Man United is like, oh my goodness, we got a new tent in Old Trafford. Old Trafford is us. It's who we are. It's where we came from. We should never be knocking down Old Trafford. Hell no. Old Trafford is different. It should be a listed building. That's what it should be. Old Trafford, we should never be looking to move away from Old Trafford. That will be the final nail in the coffin, guys. That will be the final nail in the coffin. We should build up Old Trafford, and we would have built up Old Trafford if Qatar was in charge. They would have built up Old Trafford. They wouldn't have thought about the regeneration project. And you know why they want to move away from Old Trafford? You know why, don't you? Because they want the area. They don't just want the stadium. They want the area. They want the hotels. They want the apartments. Just like Gary Neville wants his hotel football. It's a conflict of interest. It's exactly that. That's why he's talking endlessly about, we need a new stadium. We need, at the end of the day, at this moment in time, we need a new stadium. Mate, Old Trafford made you, bruv. Old Trafford made you. Who you are is because of Old Trafford, a big part of it. So listen, don't downplay Old Trafford. Look, I'm tired of it. I really am. You know what I mean? I just feel like people are so easily manipulated by it. Milton, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you doing well. The only reason the Glazers will be here is a future Regeneration project. But first and foremost, United is a football club and history and trophies. Also some of the greatest players. Exactly, Milton. Exactly. We don't care about a Regeneration project. We don't care about a new stadium. The real ones don't. We care about what happens on the football pitch. We care about Man United being successful on the football pitch. That's what we care about. As I've always said, I don't care where we play. We could play in the park down the road. As long as we're winning trophies. That's all I care about. I don't care about this stupid Regeneration project and this, this stadium, brand new stadium with the concerts and Beyonce concerts and all that. I don't want Beyonce at the bloody football club. I don't want Jay-Z at this bloody football club. Throw them to the Diddies because that's where they belong. They're with Diddy. No, I don't want none of them at Old Trafford. We don't want any of those clowns at Old Trafford. We're a football club that come from the Busby Babes, guys. Newton Heath, the Busby Babes. The Munich air disaster. That's where we come from. You know what I mean? Honest to God, tell you. Mini Europe qualification is a must. Yeah. Fact Sal, we should be challenging every single season, but Glenios wouldn't allow that. They're down tooling the expectations of the fans, and some of the fans are falling from it. They're falling for it. Like fans, when they say we're going to get relegated, we're going to get relegated. Or the fans that say, we're going to come top 8. They love that, They love that. The Glazers love that, because we may think something. We may think that we don't have a catch chance in hell, right? We may think that, but we shouldn't be saying that out loud because at the end of the day, the Glazers are going to look at that and think, we got them. We got low expectations. Great. So what we're going to do now, we're going to spend as less money as possible and keep Man United on a straight line, not up, not down, a straight line, spend as minimum amount of money as possible and then buy the get the new stadium through the door. That's what they want to do. And we all know what a straight line means, don't we? Pulse is stopped. The pulse is stopped, and Man United are not moving anymore. And that's what they want. They just want Man United to be normalised 10th to 15th place. Here we go, here. And then when the stadium comes, we got it in the bag. Milton, the football side's team, squad, and performance should come first, and the priorities seem upside down. I agree with that. Guys, I would say this, right? And I'm going to say this, right? Jim Ratcliffe's famous quote was, "Oh, well, we're gonna walk to the right decision rather than running to the wrong decision." Okay, that's fine. So why are you running right now? In fact, why are you jumping right now to the stadium? Isn't that running to the wrong decision? Because that's what you're doing at the moment, isn't it? You're building the stadium. Priorities, Jim. Priorities. What we need to do is walk to the football team right now and fix that football team. In fact, don't walk, run and fix that football team right now. Because otherwise you're going to be having a Manchester United football team playing in one of the best stadiums in the world, playing in the Championship at this rate, right? So I don't want to hear any of the contradictions about, we're going to walk to the right decision rather than running to the wrong decision. Well, we are running right now to the wrong decision. And that is a contradiction because the stadium is not a necessity right now. Stop this PR, this spin. What's most important now is the football team. Forget about the billions in the stadium, your vanity, your Sir Jim Ratcliffe Stadium, your Ineos Stadium, Sir Jim Ratcliffe Way. You'll see it, guys. You will see it, and you remember these words. You're going to see Jim Ratcliffe's face everywhere. You're going to see his name everywhere. Remember that. You will see it. Tyborg, I don't want to hear the project 10 years. Absolutely. I mean, it's all nice plan for the future, but what is the present? I will be over 60 in 10 years. I want to enjoy football and United now. Exactly, Tyborg. I want to enjoy football and I want to enjoy it now. I want to enjoy success of Man United. I don't care if we play at a pretty stadium. I don't really care about that. I care about what happens in the football pitch. My greatest memories of Manchester United is winning football matches. That's all I care about. And, as you said, Tyborg, nothing is guaranteed in life. At the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed in 10 years' time. It's just buying time and people are falling for it. It's crazy at the end of the day. The fans don't have the balls to empty the stadium, sad but true. You know what it is, Revert 7? They enjoy themselves. They enjoy their day out too much. It's fun for them. And what they have to understand is that we need a new movement at Old Trafford. We need some ultras at Old Trafford. We need to take away Fred the Red. Ooh, Fred the Red, so nice. Lovely teddy bears everywhere. Lovely Care Bears. Might as well get Care Bears running everywhere. We need to start being aggressive. That's what we need. We need to start running this football club like an ultra football club. And so that the Glazers know that they're not going to F about. Because at the moment, we are too nice. We're way too nice. The Glazers are laughing at us. And this is the thing. And Ineos. Oh, don't worry about them. They're not going to do nothing anyway. They're just going to start doing a little stupid little protest. That's probably what they're saying behind the scenes, And it's true. What does a protest do? You think the protests care? 10 million people walked through the streets of London, right? In 2002, to stop the war in the Middle East, right? They didn't care. The government didn't care. They already made the decision. Because at the end of the day, they just ignore it. That's it. They ignore it. And you know what? That's what they're going to do with Man United. Ignore it. Let them talk. Let them. They'll fall in line eventually. Big up, Weaver. To travel away matches in particular this season and watch this performance is going to be tough and painful unless the team is strengthened. Milton, I respect all the away fans. I think the away fans are fantastic. They support the team very, very well. But again, we're too nice. We're too nice. We're the best fans in the world. Don't get me wrong. We support our team. We support them through thick and thin. But we are too nice. And that's what I would say. Anthony, what's going on, my friend? No signings guaranteed, bro. Not even Mbeumo. Good morning, Anthony. Hope you're well. I already heard that before they would Amorim gone after 10 games. Yeah, I said that. I'm the one who mentioned it on the show, Kenny. Amorim's first game, he's got Man City, he's got Chelsea, he's got Liverpool, he's got Tottenham in his opening games. You know, Chelsea. He could quite possibly, yeah. But people are not going to look at this, and people are not going to look at, oh, but he never got backed. You know, he never got backed. You've got to think about the context. He never got backed. They're not going to think like that, are they? You know, they're just going to think, oh, you know what? He's a bad manager. That's all they're going to do. Big up, Asif. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything's blessed with you guys. Thank you. George. Sal, one thing Sir Jim spoke with Gary Neville, really like Ruben, and we'll back him with that words. What's that? Words, yeah. That's all it is, mate. George, words. Actions speak louder than the words, don't they? Stephanie, good morning, you legend. Hope you're doing well. Spurs United boarded up transfer windows. It's always the same old story. Here we go, slow. Absolutely, Stephanie. Culture Sport, good Culture Sport. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. We're a cup team now, and Ruben is steady new face of the club, smoothly deflecting criticism. I like to see Dumfries come in instead of Mbeumo, since we already have 25 number 10s. There you go. We don't. So we only have the Bruno at the moment, and a couple of more. Bruno and Cunha is all we have at the moment. Ahmad is going to play wing back, isn't he? Tyborg. This new generation incapable or to stand up for anything, never mind demonstrating of your club. Climate change, wokeness, and parades are the priorities. Sorry, but that's true. That is how it's true, mate. They're not like us, mate. Tyborg, they're not like us. We wouldn't let, you know, at the end of the day. Not anymore, sadly, but they should be. Big up everyone who's joined me today. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Stephanie, Sal, the United are missing a goal threat and firmly in midfield, too easy overrun, which heads pressure on our defence team. Absolutely, Stephanie. It takes a spark, as I've always said. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, guys. You absolute legends. Big up Tyrell. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Big up yourself. Hope you're well. Good to see you, mate. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back later on for chat about. So I can't get through all your messages, but you're all absolute legends for joining me today, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. Please don't forget to put your notifications on when I go live, guys. Have a great day, night, evening, wherever you're in the world. I'm Sal Walnut. This is Breaking Dawn, and this is Stretford Post. Take it easy, keep calm, and I'll see you later, hopefully. Take it easy, guys. Peace.